wish you a very happy Women's Day and also a happy Sunday. So I know it's a Sunday morning and Hyderabadis don't like to start their Sundays early. So I'm really thankful that you have accommodated me and you are here to show your support. A special welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat, Commissioner of Police, Ratchakonda, our guest of honor, Dr. Rukmini Rao, who is a very well-known women's rights activist. I know that our chief guest and guest of honor are extremely busy people and everybody wants a piece of their time. So I'm really grateful that they have graciously agreed to be here today and given me a piece of their time. A special thank you to Mr. Suresh Babu for all his encouragement and support and for the courtesy of this wonderful venue. Thank you. So what is pink legal? Any idea what is pink legal?
No.
No idea? So Pink Legal is India's first and only portal, online portal, which is for women's rights and women's laws. So, but still, what does that mean? So basically, there is no portal in India right now which is dedicated exclusively to women's rights and women's laws. So on Pink Legal, we cover everything from rape, sexual harassment, domestic violence, dowry, to cyberbullying, property rights, how to file a police complaint, etc. So our vision is that no woman in India should ever be in a position where she does not know her legal rights. And now she will have all her legal rights available on a single platform with just the click of a button. So therefore Pink Legal. But wait, India's first women's rights portal? I mean, surely there should be something like this, right? It seems kind of the obvious need of the hour. Even I was wondering the same, but unfortunately there is nothing like this. If you Google any legal query related to women's laws or women's rights, you will find random answers, but no single dedicated place where the information is comprehensive and accurate. So we have founded Pink Legal with this vision, and we want to expand it from an online portal to a portal where women can connect with lawyers and NGOs who work in this space. So I would now like to welcome our chief guest, our guest of honor, and Mr. Suresh Babu with a few flowers, please. Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat. Dr. Rukmini Rao, Mr. Suresh Babu. We also have among us Mrs. Sunita Bhagwat. We would also like to specially welcome her with a bouquet of flowers. So someone asked me, what about Blue Legal? A website dedicated exclusively to men's rights. So, if any of the men in the audience want to rise up to the occasion, you are more than welcome and you have our full support. Oh.
Organization in Hyderabad.
Yes. Oh.
Bharya Baditlu Sangam.
Okay.
There's a national one also.
So a lot of hard work and passion has gone into Pink Legal, and I cannot wait to share it with all of you. But before we launch the website officially, I would like to welcome our chief guest and guest of honor to say a few words. Our chief guest, Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat, Commissioner of Police, Ratchakonda, needs no introduction. An IPS officer from the 1995 batch, Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat sets an example of what an ideal police officer should be like. He is extremely approachable, of course dedicated, and he excels in his field. If I announce the list of awards that Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat has been a recipient of, we will all be here till today evening, so I will not do that. But I would like to specially mention that he has been awarded the Trafficking in Person Hero Award by the US government in 2017. So Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat is closely involved with crimes related to women, especially domestic rights, eve-teasing, trafficking, etc. So I would like to invite Mr. Mahesh Bhagwat to kindly say a few words. Can we have a loud round of applause, please?
Thank you, Manasi. First of all, let me congratulate Manasi for starting this initiative, Pink Legal. There are so many pink things in the market: pink taxi, pink cab, pink auto. This should not become one of that. I'm speaking candidly today, okay? Because what's happening mostly in the society, things start with a lot of fanfare, and slowly, I do not know, it's not getting sustainable. So I only take one promise from you, Mansi, today, that you will continue with it. And whatever support you want, we are all here. From police side I am here, then from civil society side, Dr. Rukmini ma'am is here, from film side, Suresh Babu, so many people are here to support you. This is actually a very noble initiative, and it will go a long way. See this today, 8 March, every year people celebrate International Women's Day, and some theme will be there. So this year the theme is generation equality, because we are completing 25 years of Beijing Declaration. So last 25 years, what happened in society? What we were doing? Yes, there is considerable change, especially coming to the Indian laws. If we see our Indian laws, we got definition of domestic violence that was not there in Indian law. 2005 we got Domestic Violence Act of Protection of Domestic Violence Act. 2005 we got first time domestic violence got defined. Before that we had only one section of law, that was a 498A in Indian Penal Code. Cruelty by a husband and his relative. The cruelty and domestic violence are different. So we have adopted, like other countries, the definition of physical violence, then economical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. All these things has come now in the domestic violence. We got very good laws subsequently. Especially, I want to mention, in 2013, after the incident of Nirbhaya, we got Criminal Amendment Act of 2013. Many people call it as a Nirbhaya Act. And that act has clearly defined the definition of rape. Earlier, rape means only penetrative sexual assault was there. It was not there was a rape like say oral sex or non-penetrative sexual assault was not a part of rape earlier. But now that definition has widened, and now there is a, all of you are aware that below 12 years now there is a death penalty for the rape cases. So that now laws are becoming day by day very stringent laws. Only problem is execution of conviction. For that we are fighting. What is happening for the Nirbhaya case, everyone is watching when it will go over. And every day people see newspaper for that only. What is the next day now? So who is playing with whom? Still we are not clear. Other day I had a cases of 3 cases of rape and murder at a village called Hajipur in Bombala Rambarao. The single offender, he has killed 3 young girls, and before that he raped them and dumped their bodies in the well. So last year on 25th of April, after the girl missing case, when we came across the body, then all the 3 cases got detected. This fellow got convicted in the fast track court on 6 February. 2 cases death penalty and 1 case is life imprisonment. But we are not happy because the parents are questioning us when the conviction will get executed. That's a big question now. So I do not know when this process will end. So people are still not trusting law enforcement, still not trusting the system till they see the result. At the same time, lot of things we have to do on legal awareness. And for that, this site like Pink Legal, started by Manasi, will definitely help. We have all the laws, right from, we say it right from women get harassed in society from home to home. So before birth, the girls start getting harassed, and till death, that harassment will be there. Elderly women, we are seeing even the rape cases other day in Maheshwaram. Very sorrow state of affairs. 70-year-old lady was raped and murdered. And every day, how many female fetus or abortion is getting, forcible abortion is getting done in super specialty hospital. In Hyderabad also I'm talking. And surrounding, we do not know. Couple of them we could stop by sending our one pregnant woman constable as decoy and we caught them. But it's a fingertip. There are many hospitals, many sonography centers are here. So every day this kind of thing is happening in the society. Right from home to top, there are no dearth of law. Laws are very much there. What is required now is a collective will of society. So will of law enforcement one thing, will of government is other thing, will of society. In that civil society comes the society in general. And finally the will of prosecution and judiciary. So these four stakeholders, they should come on a common platform. Then only it will be possible that day will be free where as dreamed by Mahatma Gandhi ji, at midnight they will move freely on the roads in India. So Manasi, once again, all the best to you. Do well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhagwat, for those enlightening words. And it is thanks to police officers like Mr. Bhagwat that women feel more and more comfortable to approach the police in case of any trouble. So I hope we still have everyone with us. I know it's a Sunday morning, our attention spans have become very short, but I'm sure we would like to hear a few words from our hero, Dr. Rukmini Rao. She's our guest of honor for today, a very well-known women's rights activist. If you Google Dr. Rukmini Rao, you will find multiple articles which are dedicated to her work on women's rights. A hero in every sense, Dr. Rao is closely associated with several NGOs which do grassroots level work to uplift women. She has also been the recipient of several awards, but I would like to especially mention one. She was awarded as the Woman of the Year by The Week magazine in the year 2014. So can we please have Dr. Rukmini Rao to share a few words with us? Can we have a loud round of applause for our hero, please?
Manasi and your friends. It's really my pleasure to be here with all of you today and to share my thoughts. I would like to remind everyone that bringing in a law is not something which only our legislators do, but a struggle by women. The history of laws within India has been a struggle by women to get society to look at a problem and to find a solution through legal means which are constitutional means. I would like to remind everyone, one of the first laws for which Indian women struggled even pre-independence, that was to raise the age of marriage. And at that time, the demand was raise the age of marriage from 10 years to 12 years.
Oh my God.
You know? And it was a very protracted, very long struggle till that moved from 10 years to 12 years. Ever since then, we have been struggling, and Mr. Bhagwat has mentioned some of the laws that we have fought for. When I started my work as a young activist in Delhi, when we went to a police station with a woman who was cut and bleeding, blood coming out, the local officer there, the SHO at the police station said, "Ek thappad mara ne kya hai? Sham mein to roti khilata hai tumko." So that woman knows then you didn't know what to say or where to go. But from there, we have come to an officer like Mr. Bhagwat, who talks like a civil society person and less like a officer. And that's why from a time when we did high, always going to the police station after a woman was killed for dowry and burned to death, we have come to a time where we are working together, where we are trying to find common solutions to the problems we face. So the reason I moved to Hyderabad, interestingly, Manasi, you will be interested to know, was because I worked with a women's group called Saheli, and in the 80s, we brought about many changes in the law. Section 9, the one which is talking about recognizing violence for the first time, no cruelty. 498A. Section 498A came about because the women activists in Delhi were fighting for 7-8 years. After that, we brought in the anti-sati law because, as you know, sati was an ancient crime but had restarted in the 80s again in places like Rajasthan. So the sati law came in. Then, etc., etc. The rape law was changed because it's a very famous case which galvanized the whole country, Mathura rape case. She was a young tribal girl who went to the police station because her husband or her boyfriend had been taken away by the police. She was raped inside the police station. And when the case went to the court, the judges ruled that there were no scratch marks on her, so there was no rape, that it was a willing act. So from there, eminent groups of lawyers and women's groups across the country mobilized and said, what kind of law is this? And we forced the legislators to change the law to recognize anyone in power, whether it's a policeman or a teacher or anyone in a position of authority. If they committed a crime, they would have a harsher punishment. But my experience with laws was that in Delhi we found that the laws have changed. So the educated women who have access, who can pay a lawyer, were going to courts, getting some benefit, etc. But I felt that the rural women, who are the mass of this country, are nowhere near the picture. So that was the reason why I moved from an urban city like Delhi. I am from Hyderabad and decided to work with rural women, which I still continue to do in Devarkonda. Sir has mentioned from womb to tomb. The problem is that in our district, sir, now in some of the mandals, the sex ratio of girls has gone down to 625 babies to 1,000 boys. So we are moving to a very, very serious problem. And as an activist, having struggled for 40 years, I feel that having more and more stringent laws is not getting us anywhere. I don't stand for death penalty. Death penalty has never stopped a rapist, has never stopped a murder, has never stopped anything. So we need the will of society, as you said. Will of society that men change, that women change, that families change. We bring up our daughters and sons in an equal way. So the law has to be completely supported by society. So Manasi, I'm very happy you've started this and that you're also planning to the next phase. The next phase is having case laws, having some access to understanding कि हम क्या करें. And I'm very sorry to say that I also run a crisis center in Nalgonda district. I have 200 women in a queue waiting in courts because there are no judges posted for the last 2 years. So that is the state of the law in our country. So we need the laws, but I think we need policy and practice. Legislation is there. So how do we push policy and practice? I think some of your case laws which you have mentioned, if you can highlight those, that will be very, very, it will be very important, I think. The last point I would like to say is, can we please have them in local languages? Because 1 or 2% of people in our country, हम लोग सब बोलते हैं English यहाँ पर, but only 1 or 2% in the whole country really have access. And the women who need it most are those poor women sitting somewhere, that mother of those 3 girls who was murdered, that woman whose husband is beating her every day and she can't go, she goes to court but there's nothing happening there. So out of the 200 cases, 2 which were solved were compromises in the village. तो हम क्या करेंगे? How do we deal with this whole situation? So as an activist, I feel very strongly we need better and better laws and we are working towards them. But along with that, we need everyone to be with us and to help us to implement the law. And I think this particular website will go a long way because like you said, very often when we go and Google things, we just find something at random and not necessarily always the correct information or the up-to-date information. So I welcome this startup and I think it's very good that this is a social startup and not always an economic startup where people only think money is the end of what we want to achieve in life. So congratulations to you and not only you, to your husband and to your family who have supported you. Because we know that when we have family support, we can go very far ahead. So thank you all very much and thank you for your patience on Sunday morning.
Dr. Rukmini Rao for those enlightening words. And ma'am, as you said, that the website has to be translated into regional languages. So that is a part of our plan in the coming months. We will be translating it in as many regional languages as possible. And we will also have a YouTube channel which is in English as well as other regional languages so that people can understand the law more easily. And we also want to connect people, connect the women to NGOs and lawyers so that they don't have to run around from pillar to post looking for an advocate or looking for an NGO. Now, I would kindly request Mr. Suresh Babu to speak a few words.
Good morning to all. Congratulations, Manasi, for starting such a nice initiative. It was nice to hear both our chief guests speak so much on this. A lot of these things are not known to society. We're all probably not bothered to go on with our daily lives, doing our own things. Whatever support you need, Manasi, in bringing it to the vernacular languages, or anything that you need in digital media, please let me know. We'll see what we can do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Suresh Babu. We really look forward to your support, and thank you for all the support so far. So now, are we all ready for the launch of Pink Legal? Can we? I think we are not that excited. Can I have a round of applause? To share with all of you the launch of our website Pink Legal. ladies, can you all keep your cell phones in your hand? Can I see your cell phones, please? So I request all of you to log on to the Pink Eagle website, pinklegal.in. The website is live now. And please join the Pink Legal Tribe. The Pink Legal Tribe is going to be a community of empowered women who are ahead of their times. So you will be the first to know if there is any new law in India about women's rights. And we will also be happy to keep you updated with our newsletter. It will take you only 20 seconds to join and it's absolutely free. So please go ahead and join the Pink Legal Tribe. So I'll just quickly introduce my team. That's Aroma. She has taken care of all the wonderful creatives. Nitya and Abhishri are law students of Nalsar Law School and they have actively helped me. And Venkatesh is the man behind the website that you see here today. I would also like to thank both my sets of parents, my husband Abhishek, my brother and sister Abhinav and Alekhya, and of course the little one Aryana, for all their support and always being my support system and my ecosystem, without whom this would not have been so easy to do. So a very big thank you to everyone once again for coming here. Dhanyavad.
నేను అడ్వకేట్ మానసి చౌదరి. ఈరోజు ఇంటర్నేషనల్ విమెన్స్ డే రోజు మనము పింక్ లీగల్ అని ఒక వెబ్సైట్ లాంచ్ చేశాము. అది ఇండియాలోని ఫస్ట్ వెబ్సైట్ మహిళల కోసం లాస్ ఇంకా వాళ్ళ రైట్స్ గురించి. ఇంకా ఇప్పటి వరకు ఇండియాలో ఇట్లా వెబ్సైట్ లేదు. ఈ వెబ్సైట్ వచ్చినాక అన్ని మహిళలు ఈ వెబ్సైట్కి వెళ్ళి వాళ్ళు రైట్స్ ఇంకా వాళ్ళ లాస్ గురించి వాళ్ళు చూసుకోవచ్చు. ఇంకా దాని తర్వాత అడ్వకేట్స్ ఇంకా ఎన్జిఓస్తో కూడా కనెక్ట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. మేము తర్వాత ఈ వెబ్సైట్ హిందీ, తెలుగు ఇంకా వేరే రీజనల్ లాంగ్వేజెస్లో కూడా ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తాము. థ్యాంక్ యూ.